No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. Hey, little darling, don't shed no tear. No woman, no cry. Good friends we have, and good friends we've lost along the way.
We got a new intro, I see.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Taurus Comics, in collaboration with Fourth Wall Production, proudly brings to you the Four Tales podcast. I am your host, Kyron Silva from Taurus Comics. Across the way is the purple playwright of Ace Blade, Danny J. Quick, and together we are your two award-winning blurred comic creators, here to help you find your next favorite comic. We are live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and a host of other programs. So if you are listening or watching us live, thank you for your support. But don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and review our podcast, because all your positive reviews, interactions help us reach a bigger audience. Yeah, we did have it. I had to, man.
Had to,
What?
man. That Black Panther trailer was absolutely great. Like I don't know if this was the first thing you want to talk about, but um I watched the trailer. I was trying to keep my expectations low for this film, right? Because they said they weren't recasting T'Challa. They, we didn't know, there was a lot of speculation about if Namor was going to be in it, if it was going to be, Wakanda versus Atlantis and all of this stuff. And, you know, there was, we just didn't know what was going to happen. Then the trailer dropped, and I'm like, it looks so good
It
to
does.
me.
It does.
And I don't know if you saw, we talked about it on the Top Five Live podcast. We barely got to our lists this week because Javon, as always, is the argumentative one in the group who is like, I understand if people don't want to see it because T'Challa's not in it. And to me, that train of thought doesn't make sense to me. If you are a comic book lover, especially a black comic book lover, that train of thought doesn't make sense to me. And we were kind of going back and forth about this, and should they recast T'Challa? And what do you, I don't think we've talked about it. I don't think we've talked about this recast T'Challa thing. So what are your thoughts on that?
Um, I do want to talk about it, but I do want to get through one other thing first. Because you brought up Top 5 Live. You guys recently just celebrated your 50th episode, so congratulations to you guys to staying together after arguing for 50 episodes. Congratulations on that. I also want to, not to get off too much on a tangent, because I do want to go back to Wakanda Forever, but I do want to actually thank you, Danny, for a recommendation you gave me. It wasn't directly to me, but you posted on social media. God, I think it was earlier this week about They've Got to Have Us, the Netflix series. Um, This basically just chronicles the experience that Black and some Latino actors and actresses have gone through over the past century. And I
Mm.
remember hearing about it first, like a couple years ago or last year, and it was added to my Netflix queue. And I was like, I'm gonna come back and watch it. And then when you reminded me that it's leaving, I was like, okay, I gotta go watch it. Man, I binged that, and it's only 3 hours, but I binged that like in a day easily. So thank you for that. All right.
Yeah,
Going back
it
to
was
Wakanda
solid too.
Forever.
Like it was.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it was. I remember, like you said, I remembered seeing it was on Netflix, and I just never got around to watching it. But for some reason, I was on the, how they have the what's leaving Netflix lists,
Hmm.
um, and that was on there, and I was like, oh God, I forgot to watch it, and I just, after I left here one day, just put it on, and I was like, man, this is amazing. Like the stuff that was chronicled in there was really good. I think it's gonna be off Netflix on August the 4th or something like that. So
Yeah.
there's still a little time to see it.
Yeah. So if you have a few hours between now and August 4th, go watch it. It has a bunch of Hollywood A-list and what's his name? Jesse Smollett was on there too, or Jussie Smollett. He was on there, so we can forget about him.
Juicy Smollett,
Yeah,
the
but it
French
was,
actor, Juicy Smollett.
but we can overlook his part of it and just enjoy everything else that was about it. It was really good. All right, so I just want to say thank you for that recommendation. But going back to Wakanda Forever, and I agree. The movie looks beautiful. It fantastic. I'm excited to see it. And as far as recasting, I'm on the fence on that. I really am. I like the
Mhm.
idea of them expanding this to just, it's not just Black Panther. This is now about the entire group of people that surround who Black Panther were. We're now looking at everybody's view, hopefully, of what life was like without him. And I like that idea of, hey, let's see what life was like without T'Challa. Ugh, I can't talk this morning. T'Challa.
It's 7 a.m. where you are. You have an excuse.
Yeah, thank you. Um, and I like that idea that we're now seeing, probably mostly through the eyes of his mom, what life was like without him. But I do feel like eventually they're going to need to bring back T'Challa in some form. Um, and maybe it is recasting him, maybe it is, I don't know. But I feel like the, as a community, we do need another Black role model superhero. Um, as a male figure, I'm sorry, a male Black superhero, one that isn't just from the standard he came from a gang or from the streets or something like that. We, and no, that's no shade of Luke Cage. I love the Luke Cage series when it was on Netflix, but I think Black Panther was so good because it was so different than anything else we saw before. So we need that change from what we're used to when it comes to Black male superheroes. And if they want to put Shuri in there, Nakia, whoever they want to put in there for like a movie or two, I'm fine with that. But I feel like eventually, especially with all the multiverses available, we have to somehow bring T'Challa back.
I,
Falcon doesn't count. Bex is in the chat saying Falcon doesn't count. Falcon does count, but the idea of T'Challa being an African and not just your standard generic, you know, what's up, DJ? Not just your standard. He's in the jungle type thing. I think we needed that character, that type of character.
I agree. I agree. And I think that the impact of T'Challa as Black Panther is apparent in the movie. I think that the fact that they can even do this movie without T'Challa is a testament to what everything that you're saying, right? The intent. If you watch the first Black Panther movie, now this is outside of the comics, outside of anything that predates, MCU. All right, if you his introduction in Civil War,
Mm-hmm.
Endgame, Infinity War, all that stuff. Okay, and then the Black Panther movie. The entire premise of the movie was expanding Wakanda so that these characters feel real, right?
Yeah.
So that you see Philly and you see Okoye and you understand even Wakabi's you see the different perspectives in the community of Wakanda on how to lead and how that affected T'Challa's decision going forth, right? So now that there's a second movie and that they did the first movie so well that we all want T'Challa, of course, but because it did so good of a job with the first movie that we can say, okay, I can see how Queen Ramonda might take up. Like, I want to see how Queen Ramonda might want to take up the mantle. I can see how Okoye might, even though she's not in the royal bloodline, she might be the one to fight for Wakanda. I can see it could be Shuri reluctantly taking on the mantle of Black Panther. It could be M'Baku, who had opposing views but still had pride in his country. It could be a number of people from the movie, and that's a testament to what the first movie did. So I'm just hoping that whatever they do at Wakanda Forever has a ripple effect. And we already know Okoye is getting a show. We've seen the Dora Milaje pop up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I think that's a testament to the impact that movie had beyond just T'Challa. So
And
we
Bex, I
we,
do
we
agree with.
got
Wait, Bex, I do agree with your statement. I did love Black Panther because of the strong Black women, also, and that's actually reflected on the poll that we did in the Facebook group for Four Tales Podcast, where I posted, "Who do you think the next Black Panther is going to be?" Shuri just outraced everybody. Then it was followed by Nakia. So I do agree that Black Panther had a plethora of women that could hold on to that mantle.
I voted
But
Okoye.
you voted for who?
Okoye.
You know,
Okoye is who I voted for.
all right. So if anybody's listening to the podcast, that is the most epic one, Michael Watson from Freestyle Komics. Um, I, I left out one person off that list that I thought nobody thought of that could possibly be the Black Panther, and that was the Winter Soldier.
I said bring the White Wolf back. Bring back the White Wolf.
He's already accepted in the community. He has superpowers. He doesn't need the purple heart.
Bring back the White Wolf.
We
I'm
have
all for it, bro.
Bucky Panther. Come on, man.
Hey,
All right.
he can't
I
be
did not
if he
personally
can't be
pick
capped.
that one.
If he can't be capped, he can't be capped because we got a Captain America. But hey, the White Wolf.
Hey, All right. Anyways, most epic one, Mike Watson from Freestyle Comics. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing all right. I saw you. You're at a convention this weekend, right?
Yes, sir.
Chuck said you're taking this too far by doing your interview in your car while driving. That is illegal and dangerous. So please don't drive in podcasts.
Hey,
I'm not driving in podcast. I'm parking in podcasting.
Okay. Facebook user tells me to turn in my black card. Okay.
it's
Sure.
Wow.
We turned it in a while back. After his
Is that Robert? Is that Robert Smothers?
I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know who. I hate this Facebook user thing. I don't know why it does that, but
I don't know why it does that either. What up, Ryan?
All right, so Michael, what's going on, man? It's been what? 2 weeks
not
since
much,
last
man.
time we talked to you.
Yeah, we're down in Montgomery, Alabama, for Urban Nerd Con, having a great time. Had a good showing yesterday. Some decent traffic. Ton of cool people. Nice event. LaShawn Coben is letting us crash at our house this weekend. We had the party at our house last night. It was going crazy.
Oh,
I saw y'all freestyling. I saw y'all freestyling at LaShawn's house. That was dope, man. I didn't get an invite. I didn't even know the show was happening until like a week ago. But it's all good. Next time, I guess. Let's see.
I thought you knew about the show.
Nah, I couldn't make it. Now you did hit me in the inbox about going a couple of months ago, but I couldn't make it. I'm actually going to Galaxy Con today. I'm gonna see Victor Dandridge. He's at Galaxy Con. So I'll
Yeah. All right.
How come I'm the only one not getting invites to anything?
Because you're on the West Coast. You are literally thousands of miles away from us.
All right, whatever. Y'all suck, man. I'm gonna do some of these East Coast cons eventually. I really am. I'm gonna make my way to the East Coast, hit all y'all up. I'm gonna see y'all in person, get some of my depths and loves, but I feel the unlove from you guys not inviting me to nothing.
I wouldn't say unlove. I would say respect, because you are in California, and I'll tell you right now, if this drive down here was supposed to be 10 hours, it ended up being 14. I'm too old for this shit. I don't know what's wrong with the traffic down south, but we ran into 3 car accidents, and it added 45 minutes plus each time that there was an accident.
Oh God! Is that all the people coming down to the convention just trying to see you?
I I tried to paint that pretty picture, but that wasn't the truth.
Okay.
I'm
All
sorry,
right.
brother. If it's, I told my wife, if it's more than 6 hours away, either I'm not going or somebody else gonna have to pay for me to fly. Because
I feel you.
I like you. I'm too old for this stuff.
Well,
Mike, go ahead.
I got lucky. I got some friends that helped drive down here to help me out a lot. Chester, Dakota, and Adam. We took turns driving, and they've been going to a lot of the shows with me.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Well, since we were talking about Wakanda Forever, Michael, what are your thoughts on the trailer, everything that's going on, things like that?
Wakanda Forever is probably the best trailer that I've seen in the last 2 or 3 years. It is emotionally riveting, gorgeous, a beautiful message, and the song literally talked to me in my head. I am a believer that I want T'Challa recast. I'm not against Shuri being the Black Panther. I just don't think we've had enough time with Shuri to evolve into the warrior that the Black Panther is. I mean, I know you can write that. I know you can write that and make that happen. But me personally, I would like a couple more installments, especially in the MCU, because that's what they do, to show some feats, to show her growth to become this Black Panther. I think T'Challa still has a ton more stories to tell. But I saw that trailer and Disney told me, shut the fuck up. Shut up.
So what
Stop
you're saying
asking
though,
for T'Challa.
all right, but what you're saying though is we saw Shuri in Black Panther, we saw Shuri in Infinity War and Endgame. So you're saying all that plus like a 30-second montage of her fighting and training is not enough for you?
Hey,
No, because all she did was this. Choo-choo. Choo-choo-choo.
y'all know how I feel about the montages. If you can put together a good montage, you can do a lot with a good montage.
Seriously. All right.
Because she's still the science person. She's still the support science person. So she needs. I mean, and you can do a whole movie that gives her feats, and then she takes the mantle at the end of it. But that movie probably has to be 2.5 or 3 hours because I want it to mean something.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm still going with the idea that it's Nakia that turns into the Black Panther, just from the fact that the first thing you see in that trailer is Nakia just standing there alone, and the last thing you see is the Black Panther alone. I'm just going off of that logic that she's going to become the Black Panther.
All right. I can rock with that. Like I said, Disney told me shut up, so I'm gonna shut up. They're gonna get my money. I'm there to go see it. I voiced my opinion on it, and obviously the $26 billion franchise may know a little bit more than I do about putting the movie together.
All right. Well, the other thing I want to bring up that was big in our community was the drop of the Milestone Generations documentary yesterday. Did you both of you guys watch it? I think you watched it, Danny, right?
I did watch it.
All right.
I have not watched it yet.
Okay.
I actually reactivated my HBO my HBO Max account just so that I can watch it. So
who's that in the background, Mike?
My wife, all my kids, Tessa, Dakota, Adam. We're having somebody drive us to the show.
Tell them we said hi.
Yeah.
Must be nice having somebody drive you around, bro.
Since we're talking about Milestone, is Dakota named off the city of Dakota from the universe of Milestone, or?
Dakota, are you named after the city of Dakota in the Milestone universe?
No.
Sadly, he is not.
I'm named after a Cherokee.
I feel that's a fail.
I'm named after a Cherokee.
He's named after a Cherokee bird.
Oh,
okay.
That's better.
Right.
That's better.
All right. Well, then, Danny, what are your thoughts on Milestone since you watched it?
I just thought it was a very inspirational story. They talked about how they did not ask anybody for permission to do the things that I mean, of course they asked for permission, but they weren't waiting for permission to do the things that they wanted to do, and I thought it was very inspirational. Of course, I've always been a fan of Dwayne McDuffie, and I was introduced to Dwayne McDuffie's work through the Justice League Unlimited series and been 10, and then I've told the story many times. I didn't read comics growing up. I watched every cartoon that was available though. But then when I did get into comics, I started collecting Milestone books because it was so inspirational, and the books are just so good. So to be able to see Dennis Cowan, who we've been able to interact with online, he's very active in the community looking for creators. Reggie Hudlin, I follow him on Facebook and seeing all the things that he does. Just seeing all of the stories and how it worked out, then it didn't work out, and now they're trying to do something new. And then we saw our guy Greg Burnham in the he had a brief cameo, a very brief double cameo in there, and then there is a milestone initiative with the last name Quick, so I feel like I'm part of the family. I'm cool with it.
I mean, I grew up not a big fan of Milestone. I mean, definitely I watched Static Shock like everybody else, but in my area, Sacramento, it was me and like one other black dude that were into comic books. It felt like so. Anytime we went to conventions, it was just me and this one dude. Like we searched out each other at the time for every convention. Like, hey, what's up, man? So when I went to comic book stores or whatnot, Milestone wasn't really available for me. It just wasn't on the racks. I don't know if that was a racial thing or not. Like they were like, hey, there's no black people, so why buy these? But it wasn't really until I got out of high school that I can go back and even find Milestone books anywhere. So being able to see their struggles with the idea that nobody wanted these books, that nobody was willing to read a black comic book, that was like, that hit me because I felt that as a reader. I was like, I don't see black characters outside of Storm and Bishop from X-Men. Back in the 90s, we had Spawn, but they didn't reference him being black a lot. He was mostly in his costume. We had Chapel from Youngblood, and honestly, he was the worst stereotype for me as a black character. He was this gun-toting womanizer. I don't want to deal with that.
No.
So the idea of this whole universe that I didn't have access to when I became older, I was like, damn it, I missed out on this. I missed out on what felt like a era that I just couldn't find because of where I was. And I'm glad I was able to go back now and see it and read it, and I get all the books that come out now, but I feel like I missed out on something big.
I definitely missed out on it.
Okay.
With all the hurdles, they talked about all the hurdles that they face at every level. From first being able to color, darker skinned people, and had developed a whole new thing for that. Then it was the marketers. They didn't believe that black people could sell comics, so they weren't, they didn't want to show the characters on the covers. And then from the retailers not putting up the posters, even though they had the best artists and people promoting it. And it was so many hurdles that were in their way, and to have the success that they did have through all of that is just amazing to see. So I was gonna ask Mike, like as a comic book, as a publisher yourself, what do you see? What do you see your story reflected in that milestone journey? Like, does that inspire you in any way, or is it a cautionary tale for you, or what do you take from it? Just from, I know you haven't seen the documentary, but just from the history of what Milestone went through and your general knowledge of it.
Well, it's a bit of both. When I was little, I'm not gonna lie, I was ignorant, so I didn't jump on the Milestone bus. I didn't see those characters as cool looking heroes or anything like that. I was, brainwashed by the mainstream and what I thought was supposed to be dope. So I passed up on them. But now looking back, I wish I would have jumped into it and jumped on those books as well, because those characters are pretty damn cool. Thank you. And looking at it now, I feel like I'm in some way doing what Milestones has been doing. I may not be just focusing on people of color, but I'm focused on all people in our books, because I feel like everybody should have the opportunity and chance to be epic. But I'm also trying, I guess I thought those characters looked corny when I was a kid, and I'm trying to make sure that our characters don't look like that. I don't want people to, like, when you put our books next to them, they're turned off and they think of our books as the indie book, or oh, that's just for the black kids book or anything like that. I want our books to be on par and on the level. So trying very hard to put the right production level into them and crafting stories that have character, um, more so than anything.
Well, let's talk about the books that you are making right now. You do have a Kickstarter out right now, Emerald Quests 1 through 3.
Mhm.
Give us a brief rundown as far as what that is, what it's about. Anybody that isn't
Uh,
familiar with it.
Emerald Quest is our first fantasy story. We got the first three chapters of it done, so we're doing all three of them on this Kickstarter right now. It stars a large cast of characters, mainly characters focused on females. The main character being Marky. She is the youngest general in the Queen's Army. She's 15 years old, and she is basically a military savant. She has mastered all types of weapons, forms of fighting. She's a master strategist and tactician. No one kind of knows where she came from. She kind of came out of nowhere, and the queen ended up adopting her as her as a daughter. But outside of Marky, there's this larger world that has been shattered by an emerald that was at the center of the planet. Thousands and thousands. The planet was a war-torn state, full of hate and anger, and the emerald is an entity. So it felt all that and got overwhelmed and shattered the world. So now the world is about 17 floating land masses with their own atmosphere, and each world, each continent has its own magical atmosphere. So there's a world of darkness, there's a world of rain, like just different effects to each one of these continents. And the emerald shards are scattered across all 17 continents. And the legend and lore in the world is that if you collect and gather all the emeralds and put them together, a child of light will be formed from that emerald, and that child will reshape and reform the world in whatever vision that you seek. And so several kingdoms believe this, several other kingdoms don't. But there is a chase going on to gather these emeralds, and Marky is at the center of it because her queen, her mother, has sent her on this mission to start gathering these.
I like Marky. I like the you know how I feel about Emerald Quest. I think it's one of the freestyle properties that I think could have the most reach into different areas, like into video games,
Mhm.
into board games, and merchandising, and just the epic fantasy of it all. I kind of get that. I know you're a big Lord of the Rings fan, so that's the kind of vibe.
Absolutely.
That's the kind of vibe that I get from it, and I'm kind of mad that this Kickstarter didn't get funded on day one. Like I'm looking and I'm like I'm about to go beg my TikTok fans family to back this one because I need these books, man. I need these books.
Well, I definitely appreciate that. I'm in the same boat too. I thought we put together a really good campaign. We had interns help come up with the theme of it being D&D. They really killed it on the graphics and the design. Like the kids really had fun putting it together. And when I looked at Danny, I was like, man, this is literally the best campaign we have like visually put together, and with the gifts and everything. And then I did bite your collar some, Danny J. Quick. We went and found some of them shoes where they're making those shoes, and we had to get something made for us too. So
See, the problem was you didn't have my artwork on the shoes like Danny does. You should have
That's
had
what
me draw
mm,
something, put
that's
on the
what
shoe.
sold.
You've been all right, man.
Um,
But
see,
man,
I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
I think, man, I don't know what it is about crowdfunding, man. It's always up and down. It's always like
Hmm.
put you can put so much effort into it, and it just you know, and it just doesn't quite hit the right people, and for me and you
Yeah,
especially, like I think because we target so many different types of audiences with the things that we do. Because I've done short films on Kickstarter, I've done novels, I've done. I was thinking about doing a Kickstarter for the escape room. Like our built-in audience, it doesn't necessarily translate to the other things that we try to do. So because you're doing comic books, and this is more geared towards fantasy, D&D type stuff, your algorithm doesn't quite reach that kind of stuff. So the analytics behind it are kind of holding the thoughts that I've had are that the analytics can kind of hold me back when I try to do something new. And that's super frustrating because you can, like you said, it's a beautiful campaign. Like the page is amazing, and you're almost funded. So don't get me wrong, like there's still time to get it done. But in my
Yeah.
opinion, it should have been done weeks ago. It should have been funded weeks ago.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about crowdfunding and analytics and hitting on social media. All of our other campaigns hit like within a week at the most. So this is definitely a different type of struggle for us. I've been talking to Lori, Veronica, Danny, and just trying to figure out what we can do to switch up gears to get more attention on it. And I believe we're going to hit at the bottom of the ninth a home run and get it in there the last hours of the campaign and make it happen. But it's definitely been a different type of beast trying to work this campaign for sure.
Well, I mean, people still have time. There is 36 hours left on the campaign, and you're like Danny said, you are close to hitting your goal. I'm pretty sure Danny has like $1,000 somewhere lying around that he could just drop on it, just for the love of
Oh
it.
yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, we'll keep our fingers crossed that that will get funded as quickly as possible. I don't know
And
what
I appreciate that.
Danny said something, but his audio went out or something.
I wouldn't say anything important. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
You'll
okay.
see that.
All right. Well, outside of Emerald's Quest, what else are you working on, Mike, that you can talk about?
We're working on a side project that actually Danny J. Quick wrote the story for. um, it's about youth that end up going to jail before they're the age of 18 and the struggles they face there and how there's opportunities for them to get out of that. Fish is drawing it. Veronica Smith's coloring it. Officially drawing it. Veronica Smith coloring it. Lori Foster on the inks. Danny Cooper on edits. Danny Jacobs writing it, and me just creative directing it right now. That's going to be out here soon, and we're going to release that title underneath the FSK banner. I am in the midst of drawing Hotshot 12 right now, and that's a no spoiler alert, but that's the one where I get to challenge old ghosts in my real life. So it's going to be a very emotional issue. If you've been reading Hotshot 10 and 11, you know what I'm talking about. You know what it's leading up to.
Indeed.
That's kind of like the thing that I like about comic books is that I get to experiment with stuff that it's therapy. It's therapy for me, and this has been a very therapeutic journey for this issue. We're working on the next issue of Five Star. We just got the script approved for that a couple weeks ago, and Fish is diving into that. Next issue of Green Zone is going to be moving on after that. That's what we got in the pot right now. What's cooking?
Okay. Now, you also got, I mean, I don't know if maybe you can bring this up, but I've noticed a name change of your platforms to Agents of Geekdom.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that, what that is?
Yeah, so it's an experiment. Tessa, who has worked with me a lot on the podcast, she's actually been managing it and handling my Twitch channel, got the idea that we're all, doing these podcasts in the same circles, the same audience. So why don't we put it all on one channel? We're each doing it one day a week, and we're hitting a lot of the same people, but we're not. The theory is that we're not able to consistently build our audiences to watch the shows because we're not streaming consistently every single day at certain times, that our channels aren't being lit up every single day. So we reached out to you guys. We reached out to Moana Nui. We reached out to Top 5 Live. We reached out to Unlike the Hero Studios. And we basically have a show right now for every day of the week at set times. And we are going under the assumption that as long as we do our show each day, we'll light it up, we'll hit that algorithm, and we'll start getting people to view our shows or start to tune in or catch people that we didn't even know if we're all on one channel. and then using that to increase the audiences of our shows. But also, we're going to brand it. We're going to show commercials for our comic books, for our events and things that were in there, and just making it one big podcast network.
So it sort of sounds like this is like the Avengers Initiative, where there was an idea, and Danny knows it.
Yeah,
To
yeah,
bring a group of remarkable people to see if we could become something more. We're the Avengers now. Is what you're telling
absolutely.
me? Okay.
I
That
like
is
that.
exactly what I'm telling you.
All right.
I love it. Damn it,
So
the network name needs to change again. Shoot.
all right. So two questions then. Do we have a day to when all this is going to go down? And can I be the Hulk? Just because I have anger issues.
You can absolutely be the Hulk.
All
The
right.
launch date has not been picked yet. We're still working out the fine details of it or whatnot with everybody. Tessa wants to go in and work on everybody's Twitch channels so we can get those emotes and activities and stuff that everybody likes on Twitch. But we have been doing a slow release and announcing that it is happening. This week, I'm going to start announcing what shows are officially under that network channel, and we're looking for more for different times of days and stuff like that. So we're looking for morning shows, we're looking for afternoon shows and stuff. So we want this to be a whole big thing.
Nice. All right. All right.
I love it.
Well,
I love it. We're not going to keep you too long, there, Mike. I know you got a show to go to, and you just did quick takes a couple. Last time we were on the show, you did quick takes. So, I don't have any quick takes for you this time. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
Well, this convention is actually a pretty good show, man. This is a lot of fun, and I didn't realize how many people were actually going to be here that I knew. So
Mhm.
definitely check out the Urban Nerd Con. It's got a good start. It'll be something for you guys to check out for next year and things like that. As far as our Kickstarter goes, any help will be appreciated on that. Like I said, we got 36 hours left on that bad boy. Even if it's just you spamming the share button, that helps. Let's
yes.
reach out to as many people as we possibly can. I want to, thank everybody that has supported the campaign right now and that has shared it, that has pledged. Big shout out to Paul Henson. He was cussing people out in my chat, saying back this campaign, and Andrew Duncan was digging in for everything that he can to help us get there. So these stories are really good stories, man. The expansion of Emerald Quest and where we're going with it is, I know everybody talks about their property like this, but it's going to be unique. I will definitely tell you, the end of the series you will not see coming. The way that it's connected to the Freestyle Comics universe is something that you will not see at all, and you have to see it. And the only way we're going to see it is getting these Kickstarter funded.
Now, I do have one more question before we let you go. This was actually
Mhm.
something that it's been on my mind for a minute, and it fits the theme of what we started talking about originally, which was they're going to have us Black Panther and basically representation in media for people of color, particularly African Americans. But we always talk about how we're not there yet. We don't see enough of what we want to see in media. How will we know when we are there? Like, how will we know that we're at that point where there's enough representation of us as people of color, as strong Black men? How will we know there? Is somebody just gonna be like, "Hey, everybody, we're there. That's it. We're good," or is this gonna be something where we'll just stop talking about it? And if it is somebody that says, "Hey, we're there," who is it? Go ahead, Danny. You don't
I
have to
don't
raise
think
your
it's
hand.
somebody's. I don't think it's going to be anybody that says here is there. I think it's going to be a matter of how we critique our products. It's going to be a matter of when we have just about as much trash as we have good stuff. I remember somebody saying, I can't remember what podcast it was. Uh, we should have the opportunity to have shitty movies too. All right, there are a ton of crappy movies and TV shows, and we should have those opportunities as well to have as many as everybody else. But also have that good quality content as well. And I know people like recently people were talking about the Black Panther being on the Rolling Stones #1 list for 100 top comics. and the on TikTok, the arguments that are happening over this, and so and everyone leaning towards it's political. Black Panther got put up there because it was political, and but then I also say, then why isn't that a good reason? I saw Black Panther, but I also saw what Black Panther did to our country. There are little white kids running around in Black Panther costumes, wanting to be a black man, wanting to be a dark-skinned black man who was positively put on the screen as a king, not a thug, not a drug dealer, not a murderer, not a rapist, but a man with morals, a man with conviction, a man with leadership, a man with intelligence, a man who respected women, a man who had a good relationship with his ex-girlfriend, a strong relationship within his family, with his father and his mother, and he cared about his sister, and he cared about his people. Why the fuck is that not a good comic book movie?
Mm-hmm. And I agree.
Politics or not. You could say, it's because there were so many black people in here and, all that stuff. But I think a good movie is a movie that pulls people together, and Black Panther pulled people together. So when we have more Black Panthers, when we have more crappy movies, it's just going to be a thing that you'll see as things are reviewed, that you'll see they'll start to be balanced.
All right. Danny?
I mean, the man is right. I mean, he said it all. I think it's just like Mike said. If we can have things that are universally loved and things that are kind of niche, and I think we're getting close to that, because we have things like Black Panther, then we got stuff like Note that just came out, which I thought was pretty good, but some people didn't think was good, and then we got Tyler Perry's got his own studio full of stuff, the stuff that's coming out, and some of it's good and some of it ain't, and that's perfectly fine. So like I said, man, we just got to keep pushing. And if you need somebody to be the one to say we've made it, I'll say it. When we get there. But that don't mean that it'll be true. I can just be saying something from my perspective, and I think we just got to keep helping each other and building, and we'll be just fine, bro.
I love it. I love those answers. All right, Mike. Well, since you're on your way to the convention, where can we find your work? I know we want to talk about the Kickstarter. Where can we find all this great stuff from you?
Kickstarter is at fskgo.com. You can find all of our comic book work at fsknow.com. I'm Most Epic Art on all social media. And our new network channel is Agents of the Geekdom on Twitch and YouTube for right now.
For right now, we're going to change that name, though, right?
Yeah, it's about to be Avengers real quick.
All right, Danny, what about you? Where can everybody check you out?
If you're looking for me, the best place to go is our website, www.fourthwallpros.com. Or if you want to check out our social media stuff, it's at the Ace Blade. What about you, Karen? Where can people find you?
You can find me at tauruscomics.com. I'm also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Taurus Comics. And TikTok, your stuff is broke, dude. I don't see anybody's stuff. I don't see Danny's stuff. I don't see Mike's stuff. I don't see Morgan's stuff. I don't see Victor Dandridge's stuff. Your stuff is broke. Go fix yourself. That's all I'm going to say. But join us next week. We're going to have Fred McKinney, writer of Scrap, on the show. We'll have some fun too. But until next time, sayonara, goodbye, and please take care of yourselves.
Music provided by my brother, Quix Made It. Find him online in YouTube, Instagram, and SoundCloud.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.